So you said you have been studying only Swedish for about over a year now, all right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one thing I want to know is, in this time, what's something or some things about the process of language learning that have been revealed to you during this time that had you just stayed with French and Swedish, you may not have discovered?
Um, I don't know about the process of language learning, if I've discovered so much about that, but um, I think the level to which I can get to to get my brain to function in Swedish, not that we think actually in a language, um, but the level that I can get my automatic reaction to be in Swedish and stuff is surprised me,
Mm.
in that I thought it was purely a time thing. Like it's like, okay, well, I haven't got time to study French and Swedish, so I'm just going to study Swedish. But after a while, like maybe it's a result of the time, I don't know. But when I spent enough time in Swedish, I would start to. It's almost like it started becoming my native language in certain settings.
Wow.
Um, as in, like, so my computer's in Swedish. Sorry, just my computer is in Swedish, and it had been for a while, but I would still often kind of read things on it and be like, what, why is this coming up? Like, I'd know what it was saying, but I'd kind of go, what, I don't, this is annoying, kind of thing, whatever it is with the computer. But these days, I guess I've now spent enough time in Swedish that I'll see something and like be completely concerned with the meaning of what I'm seeing. And this is happening with lots of stuff, not just my computer, but like lots of things where I'll read something in Swedish, comments on YouTube. I'm starting to get a lot of comments from Swedes, and be totally engulfed in like the meaning. So the computer will say like, there's been an error, this program's got to shut or whatever. And before it was like, it was in Swedish and I was like, oh no, there's been an error, kind of thing. Whereas now I read it and I'm like, nej men det här är helt galet, jag sparade den precis, kind of thing. And it's like, and I'm not even thinking about like, oh, all my reactions are in Swedish and stuff, which is like, yeah, I was doing that before, but I would always have this thing of like, oh, I have an opportunity to kind of react to this in Swedish. Whereas now I'm just like reacting to it raw, and it'll only be if I kind of, something takes me out of that. Like if my son goes like, is everything okay or something? And I'm like, no, but no, it's not. This is annoying. Or what, and yeah, the same with, because I speak Swedish to my son, my youngest son, the baby, and my older son is picking up on some of that, and he's starting to use a little bit. But so my wife will hand me something while I've got him in my arm or something, and I'll be like, oh man, tuck. Like, it's just, and I don't even notice I'm doing it until there's something that comes a second later where I'm like, I just spoke Swedish to my wife, who's doesn't speak Swedish. Yeah, just the level to which you can get your kind of reactions and this subconscious hum of your brain, like just with thoughts and stuff, to be in Swedish has surprised me, and something that I've really wanted to take up, because when I did full-time Swedish last year, I think just after you did,
Mm-hmm.
I still always felt like there was like that, I'm deliberately spending time in a language that's not comfortable. Whereas now I feel like Swedish is very comfortable, and I would like to see what would happen again if I were to do that. Yeah, like I think this time would be very different, and it would really kick that. I just think that subconscious process goes deeper and deeper and deeper to like Inception, to levels that you don't even know existed, kind of thing. Yeah.
That must also be interesting to talk to your son in Swedish, because you talk about this idea of reaction. And I mean, you have a human that you can kind of react to. And
Mhm.
I think that's almost as if for a moment you were in Sweden, for example, you know, and you're just reacting. Um, so that's interesting. I mean, that gives you
Mm.
like a level of language usage that, I mean, some people are not going to have that study a language outside of their target country. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I think it's going to be really hard um, to get him to actually speak Swedish